All right, you played James Jones. 9 years in the league, a Super Bowl champ. Just one brief relationship with the Raiders.
Yeah.
So earlier this week on, was it Tuesday, Wednesday night, when they fired Josh McDaniels and the GM after only 2 drafts, couple seasons, not even completed seasons, what did you make of it? Surprised?
No, I wasn't surprised. You know, I do Raiders game day, so I'm in that building every weekend. Road games, home games, I'm in that building every single weekend. So, you know, I hear a lot of the stuff going on, see a lot of the stuff going on. Obviously, I'm close with a lot of players over there, but even just the stuff that I seen, they didn't believe in Josh no more. And I'm strictly just talking about players.
Right.
You know, they did not believe in him no more. You've seen it was a lot of regressing. You know, it wasn't improving, especially on the offensive side of the ball. You know, you an offensive mind, and you're not taking care of the offensive side of the ball, really having this offense clicking on all cylinders. So, you know, just through that building, it was a lot of people not believing in Josh McDaniels. And for me, when I heard it was a team meeting, it's only 2 things come out of these team meetings and players being able to voice their opinions and voice their frustrations. It's 2 things that come out of this. You either come out and you win, and everybody's saying, cool, we answered all those questions in the team meeting. Or you come out and you play the way you played and you lose, and you're like, yeah, this ain't gonna work.
When you have a team meeting, who do you tell? Let's say there's concerns about the coach. Would a captain go up to Mark Davis or the GM and tell him?
Well, see, and that's the thing. GMs ain't even in these team meetings. This is coaches, players. Sometimes it's players only. Sometimes it's no, coach need to be in on it. So you'll have one of your leaders, hey, coach, we want to have a team meeting with just you. We don't need no position coaches. We don't need no nothing. The team wants to meet with you, want to voice our frustrations. We want to get some of this stuff off of our chest. How can we improve in these areas? How can we get better in these areas? And let's go. Sometimes it's just players only meetings. I've been in both of them, right? And the only thing to really make these meetings worthwhile is going out there playing well. And if you don't go out there and play well and look like you looked against the Detroit Lions, then you lose the locker room. And I think that's what was happening here. When you have a team meeting, that's really a lot of conversations going on in the locker room, and we need to address a lot of this stuff, right? And I truly believe it came down to them just not believing in Josh no more, and I truly believe it's a move that Mark Davis had to make. And I think this was the perfect time to make that move because you have 2 really winnable games coming up. You know, you would hate to fire a coach and a GM and you got the Chiefs and the Dolphins next on your schedule. What you want the next coach to do? At least you get Antonio Pierce in there, who I'm really proud of, really high on. I coach both of his sons, you know, in youth football. You know, so he's a player. We all know. He knows how he's going to know how to push these guys and get the best out of these guys. But you give him an opportunity. You have the Giants and the Jets on your schedule, 2 winnable games, you know, to come out there, especially with them both being at home. So I'm excited to see what he's going to do and see how this team is going to look under Antonio.
James Jones, you know, it's interesting because I love several players. I love Maxx Crosby.
Man.
One of my favorite players in the league.
Absolutely.
I would build around him. I love Davante Adams.
No question.
There's several players I like. Hunter Renfro's interesting. Josh Jacobs.
A lot of players, yes.
So I love 2. I like about 6. I don't think it's a rebuild. I think it's a draft a quarterback, and let's see if Pierce can get it done. Do you think there's a chance if Antonio wins a couple games, goes 500 the rest of the way?
Absolutely.
Should he get the gig?
Absolutely. And the reason why I think that that's possible is because the way these players feel about him.
They love him.
You know, and one thing I know about Mark wants to get this thing turned around by any means necessary. Whatever I got to do. Another thing I know about Mark is he loves his players. Current, former, he is always going to look out for you. He's always going to listen to you. So if these players is coming up there like, man, listen, hey, Antonio Pierce is the guy. Right, we love him. He got us going in the right direction. Mark is going to listen to that. So Antonio Pierce has a really good shot at being able to be the head coach of this football team if he goes out here and this team looks the right way and they find a way to win some of these ball games.
Let me ask you, J-Mac, you and I talked about this. In preseason, I said, keep your eye on Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah.
He was the Purdue kid, not terribly mobile, but can take the ball out of the shotgun, make throws.
Yeah.
Again, not going to move all around. But should he just start the rest of the way and say,
Absolutely.
Jimmy, so you go with a young kid?
Absolutely. I would go with the young kid. We know what Jimmy G's going to bring, right? Just like some of these other quarterbacks in the league that are starting over rookie quarterbacks, whatever it may be. We know what these guys are going to bring. Let the young guy get in there. Let O'Connell get in there, get some experience, go through his ups and downs, whatever it may be. He has a live arm, his flick of the wrist.
That's not the issue.
Yes, just like any of these quarterbacks in the National Football League. So let him go out there, get comfortable, get some chemistry with these receivers, and go out there and be able to sling the ball, all over the yard. He has a really good running back in the backfield and Josh Jacobs to hand the ball off to.
How's the offensive line? Colton Miller's fight, is that okay?
Colton Miller's there. The offensive line is probably middle of the pack in the National Football League.
Got to address it in the draft.
Yeah, but this is one of those things to where, hey, we got to get out here. We got to out-scheme people. Let's get this quarterback into some plays to where the football could come out of his hands extremely fast. He has two really good wide receivers. A lot of people don't watch Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers and Davante Adams
Jacoby's done a nice job. And by the way, Mayer, the tight end from Notre Dame.
Absolutely. But you talking about being able to make somebody miss in the phone booth, Davante Adams and Jacoby Myers off the line of scrimmage are special. So he has guys to get the ball to, and you already touched on Hunter Renfrow.
So I've been saying this for 2 years now. Rookie tight end Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs, Colton Miller, Hunter Renfrow, Davante Adams, Jacoby Myers, Maxx Crosby.
Mm-hmm.
Those are key positions.
No question.
You can't tell me this is a total rebuild.
No.
Now I didn't love their first pick, the defensive end
Wilson.
It worries me a little bit. Mm-hmm. Could he be a rotational player, salvage it? I don't think it's a rebuild. I think it's a coach quarterback issue.
No question. And I think if you draft a quarterback, you'll be able to go in free agency and address some of the needs you may need to address on the defensive line, the offensive line. This team is not far off. And, we talked about it yesterday, but this team right here, if I'm a head coach, this job right here is intriguing to me, right? I'm in Vegas. I have really good players to build around.
Especially offensive players and an edge rusher.
No question. So if I'm able to get some help in free agency through the draft on this defense, this team is not far off. They got 3 wins this year, so.
And it's been a circus, and the players didn't like the coach, and they've got 3 wins in a division with Chargers, Sean Payton, Andy Reid. So this is kind of my feeling. Mark Davis can wear me out. There's been a lot of a circus. There's dudes here.
There's ballers over there.
Okay, now we got to get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Packers. Okay, now I said this earlier.
Yeah.
Here's the biggest concern. The Packers are a well-run organization. Jordan's getting worse.
Yeah.
So what they did is they did a good job to protect him. But now everybody's got film. And now the numbers by week 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
It's progressively getting worse. Yeah. Generally, with a young quarterback, bumpy, stable, wow.
Yeah.
This is like protected, not a lot of wow, unstable, oh, crap, this don't work.
Yeah.
Like, in the building, do you think they know the truth? I mean, they moved off Rasuli Douglas, right?
Yes, and that was a trade that I did not want to see happen.
Because he plays hard.
He plays hard. He's a really good football player. And to be honest with you, even coming into this season, I thought that the defensive side of the ball was going to have to play really well. They got 7, 8 first-rounders on that defensive side of the ball, and I thought the defense would be a whole lot better than they are right now playing football to be able to help Jordan Love. But as for Jordan Love, when the season first started, I was extremely high on Jordan Love. I'm like, this dude is the future of the Green Bay Packers. He can throw the ball with the best of them. He's extremely smart. He was seeing the game extremely well. But now that we sit here, these next 10 games, 9, 10 games, however many they have left, are huge for him. He is going to have to play at a high level for the Green Bay Packers to say, this is our quarterback of the future. We're not going to go draft one. We're not going to grab one in free agency. He is going to have to play at a very, very high level. And Coach LeFleur is going to have to let the training wheels off on him. You're going to have to stop calling the game safe. You're going to have to open up this playbook and let him go out there and be able to throw this ball over the yard to see if he really can do it. When I watch tape right now, it's a lot of safe play calling. And when you call safe play calling, that means you're trying to have your quarterback be safe with the football. At one point, we got to find out. We halfway through the season, we got to find out if he can really handle all this. And Coach LeFleur is going to have to do a better job of opening this playbook up. He has receivers. He has running back. You're going to have to open this thing up to see if Jordan Love really can do it. But these next games is important for Jordan Love.
Okay. J-Mac, are you ready for this hot take? All right. You would have thought it was ludicrous if I'd have said at one point Favre's going to be a Viking.
Mm-hmm.
He was.
Yeah.
Minnesota doesn't want Kirk Cousins.
No.
Midwest ethos, Midwest kid, not flashy. You're not paying any of those receivers, any of those tight ends. They're going to get a left tackle. That offense now is going to be cheap. $28 million for Kirk Cousins.
Oh, you saying Kirk to the Packers?
Knows the division, knows the NFC, Midwest ethos, small town family guy, same coaching tree on offense. It sounded outrageous. Favre to the Packers. I'm Green Bay. If listen, the bottom line here is they do have 2 seconds and 2/3, and they're currently number 6. But if they win 3 games and they're 9, nobody's moving back. You're not getting Caleb and Drake May. And Penix, to me, if he plays well this weekend again for a high-profile game, go get Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, you're going to have to go.
Am I nuts?
You're going to have to go in free agency to get somebody if Jordan Love does not check all these boxes. Absolutely. I mean, coming off of injury.
Family guy, same coaching tree.
Coming off of injury, you're probably going to get him for the right price, you know. And like I touched on earlier, this defense has a lot of first rounders and a lot of ballers on this defense.
And the offense, not paying anybody because they're going to draft a tackle.
Right. Young.
So in the first round, if they end up 8, 9, 10, they're getting one of the tackles. So I'm not paying Watson, Dobbs. I'm not paying a left tackle. I'm not paying Musgrave. I'm not paying anybody.
You might be on to something. You might be on to something if Jordan Love does not answer the questions these last
3
9,
words,
10 games.
hot take artist. Everybody, if I'd have told you Durant to the Warriors, Favre to the Vikings, Kirk Cousins, I'm Gutekunst.
I like Kirk.
I respect the heck out of him. Midwest guy, knows division. Minnesota, you'll say Minnesota won't. He's free agent. No trade clause. You don't think he doesn't want to go to Green Bay and say, okay, all right, you let me go. I'll go across the street. He's competitive.
And not only that, you can get a young quarterback to sit him behind Kirk.
For 3 years.
For 2-3 years.
You're going to win games with Kirk Cousins. You're always going to win games with Kirk.
You might be
Look
on
at Ryan over there is looking at me like I'm a wizard.
I'm still rooting for Love,
wow,
though.
how does that brain function so quickly? Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.